We left because, well, firstly there was a job offer, and secondly, we really felt we never spent enough time together as a family. Either my husband was working, I was working, we were sharing the childcare, and it was very stressful. That, and we both wanted to explore the Middle East and find out what else there was out there.
My husband and I were working in Los Angeles at University of Southern California, and we were there for 6 years. We've worked in higher ed for a long time. It's our career, and in the 6 years we were there, we were both working. We had both started and finished our doctoral degrees, and we had 2 kids, and we needed something completely different. So we ran away to the Caribbean, and we lived on an island called Dominica for 3 years. Working at a university there, and it was a developing nation, so it was an amazing experience, but at some point we needed something with a little bit more modern conveniences. There were other places. We heard about Education City, and we made an intentional choice to come here for our careers, and for kids too, and so we came to Doha.
And we had small children, and our jobs were becoming very high pressured as they were, and it never seemed to be enough, and we were working very, very hard and not making much headway, not spending much time with our son, and we decided that something had to give.
But when I got here, I realised what I did have to lose was I lost who I was, sense of myself. I gave up my job and went from full-time work to full-time mum, and that was a big shock to me. I didn't think it would be, but it was. And however, 2 years down the road, and what I really lost, I think, was the guilt factor that I had when I was working mum. I lost that working mum guilt.
I've lost the easy answer to the question, where is home, or where are you from? Living in the US, I've lived all over the US, in Florida, Texas, North Carolina, Los Angeles, and people always ask you, oh, how long have you been in LA? How long have you been in Miami? Because most people aren't from LA or Miami. They've moved from some other parts of the world, well, parts of the country. But living here in Doha, it's a very different question. And so when people say, where are you from, or where's home, I'm never really sure what they mean. Sometimes it's, where were you born? Where did you live before here? Where do you go for holidays? So I really struggle sometimes with that answer, because when I say here, this is my home, this is where we live, this is where my family is, this is my home, people don't really respond to that answer because they want to know something else. They didn't really mean where is home. They meant, where is your passport from? Where do you go to see family?
I feel I've lost the sense that things need to be done in a particular way. I lived in other countries. I lived in Germany before I lived in Ireland, and the process of trying to fit in those countries is a little bit. Things need to be done in a particular way. They're very old cultures. They have very long traditions. And I've really felt in both places that sometimes if you tried to do things in different ways, you would be discouraged from doing things in particular way. Yeah, one of the things we've noticed in Doha, and the reason I feel that I've lost that sense of doing things one particular way or another, is because people are coming here from all over the world, and it's really refreshing to be able to be in a place where everything seems so chaotic and that there's so many different ways to do things. But that's okay, because you'll find something that suits you and that works for you if you look for it.
Having done the full-time mum thing, having done the full-time work thing, I've seen it from both sides, and thanks to that I now know that I can be a working mum and give my children as much attention as they need, and not be quite as grouchy at the end of the day.
I've really learned that, when I think of myself and my identity, I have such a broader global perspective now. I'm really more aware of global issues around the world, and being intentional about the sources of media that I consume, because they do color how you perceive things. And I think I look at the US very differently now. So my passport country is completely different to me now. I look at it from how safe I feel here compared to there, to how children are valued here in this society as being these amazing creatures. And in the US, they're valued for what they're going to be, that they'll be contributing members of society someday as long as they sit quietly in the restaurant right now and don't make a problem. We like them. And I think that's a really different perspective, not always welcome by our family back home in the US.
I've learned that with such a diversity of people and from all over the world coming together in the same place, that that's also given me a lot of confidence to be more like myself and to be more accepting of myself. You can live in Germany for many, many years, you can speak German, and you can work at a German company, but you will never become German. You will never be effectively German. And the same in Ireland. You can live in Ireland for many years, you can raise a family, you can have a lot of great friends, and you can get by, but you will never be Irish. And for me, those things were quite difficult to deal with because I wanted to be liked in those places, and I found myself a lot of times toning down the fact that I was American for many, many reasons. And I've just found that coming to Doha has been really refreshing for me because I've learned that I don't have to be that way. So everyone is from somewhere different, so it just makes it that much easier to just be confident in who you are and not try to conform to one idea or one way of life or being.